Hi, I'm Matt, here in Michigan.
And I'm Randall, also here in Michigan. Today, we're going to be reviewing Black Widow, and we are joined by one of our friends, special guest.
Candace, special guest.
Very special.
Very special guest.
Black Widow just came out in theaters. It is also available on Disney Plus, special access, $30 stuff if you want to spend that kind of money. It stars Scarlett Johansson, Florence Pugh, David Harbour, Rachel Weisz, Roy Winstone, and is directed by Kate Shortland, who also directed Lore and Somersault. But before we get into the movie and talking about the review, if you like this sort of thing, make sure you give it a like. The likes really do help us out. Subscribe if you want to see more, and ring the bell icon if you always want to know when we're posting.
Black Widow takes place right after the events of Captain America Civil War, where our main character, Black Widow, is on the run, and she meets up a little bit with her past in this one. Alright guys, I saw it once and twice, and you guys just saw it for the first time.
Yes.
So what do you guys think about Black Widow?
Okay. I'm still pretty mad that, minor spoiler, but if you're watching this video, you probably already know what happens in Avengers Endgame. I'm still pretty mad about what happens in Avengers Endgame, and I almost left the theater. And it seems to me like we should have gotten this movie 6 years ago anyway. So,
But how do you feel about it now?
There's a small child in this room while we're videoing this, so if you hear a small Ewok running around, it's fine.
Ah, gotcha. You're a jittery little thing, aren't you?
I liked this movie more than I wanted to like this movie. Yes, I know.
Exactly.
I will be honest. I went into it going, okay, we're watching this movie because Scarlett Johansson was contracted to make another movie. But I liked it more than I thought I would.
So I didn't have too much of expectations, good or bad, because it's a prequel. And as I said in our recent live stream, I thought, it's a prequel. You know she survives. At the beginning, there's a lot of action. It's like, here's the one action scene, here's another action scene, and not enough story. And I wish they had leaned more into the story instead of like, here's an action scene, something to get us to the next action scene. So that kind of bothered me a little bit. But I liked the story, the idea they were telling, even if I didn't necessarily always like the way they were telling it. But you saw it twice. What did you think about it?
I liked it, and I actually liked it both times. This wasn't one of those movies where, like, the first time you get that initial reaction, like, oh, this was really fun. Like, I was excited for this movie, it was fun. And the second time, you're like, oh, man, this movie's got so many problems. I think this movie had some really good moments that I actually think were kind of, like, earned. I actually felt things for the different characters in this movie. Some characters I really liked in this movie, I think worked really well. And in general, I enjoyed this film.
All right, so what works for you in the movie? What works? Because you said you liked it more than you wanted.
So I liked it more than I thought I was going to because I went into it going, there's another Marvel MCU movie, and like, why didn't I get this right after Civil War? I don't know. So there were a lot of things that worked. I think really the sister dynamic between Natasha and Yelena really, really worked. If you have a sister like I do, you know that you can go from I hate your guts because you stole my favorite shoes to I will punch that person in the face for you in about 1 second. So to me, the banter between those two characters really, really worked. I think that it is very helpful that you have two exceptionally good actresses in the two roles. For me, it's like, I think if you had cast someone else other than Florence, it wouldn't have been as good. I really, really did like her.
Yeah, I thought Florence was really good. When we're saying like some of the people that we worked, her and David worked the best.
David
for me.
Harbour works so
Harbour is so good,
He's really
so
great.
funny. But yeah, Florence, I think to me she's like the highlight of like of the actors and stuff. I think she did the best. For me, she really made me believe that character.
I wanted David Harbour's character. I wanted him on screen more. That's like his character and the way he portrayed it, and him always telling his story. Like he talks in this movie. Slight spoiler about how he fought Captain America in like the 80s, and you're like, well, he didn't unless it was Isaiah. So it would not be Steve Rogers. It wouldn't be the famous Captain America. And I'm like, probably he did fight Captain America, but no one believes him. His character was awesome, and I wanted to see so much more of it. And, you know, hopefully maybe in the future we do.
I mean, Who doesn't love Dave Harbour? I mean, really, like he's just so fun to watch on screen because he's very aware of where he is, like all the time as an actor. He always knows where he is, like in the scene in relation to the camera, and I really enjoy watching him as an actor. I think Rachel Weisz obviously did a good job as well, but she's Rachel Weisz, so like,
yeah. She's
obviously
strong. She does what she does.
Yeah, I think the action scenes and stuff in this movie were done pretty good. I think, for me, we get a fight in the beginning, I would say you're close to the beginning or whatever, between our main character and this kind of, the fighting villain, I guess you would say, in this film. I was a little bit disappointed. They kind of like built it up a little bit, and we saw a little bit of what this villain can do in one fight at the beginning, but I don't think it really carried over through other parts of the movie. And that's one thing I think at the beginning and at the end. Watch it first time, watch it second time. I still, wish could have been better.
It kind of goes on to I wish I'd seen more David Harbour stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But that fight between his character and this is as close as he's going to get to Steve Rogers' Captain America, basically.
You didn't see a lot of it. I feel like they hyped it up in the trailer, too.
Yes,
and I'm like, we're going to have this big fight scene. And then I was like, no, just kidding, we're not.
There's a whole bunch of other stuff that's happening, and his is like the third thing that's happening.
Can we talk about really quick, like how convenient all of a sudden things were at the end?
I was gonna say, you were talking about you liked the action scenes, and I'm over here like meh myself.
Like it's 2 hours and 15 minutes long. At the end, I'm like, wow. These are very convenient things that are happening to wrap this up.
You're just like,
right,
it's Super Mario. You're at the end level. You're facing off against Bowser. You got a mushroom.
You got all the stuff that just magically appears. It's like, bing, and there it is. You need a parachute. Oh, look at that. There's one right there.
Well, that's the thing, too. There's part of, like, a build-up to, like, the end. But, we were talking a little bit, riding back. You were mentioning about how a part of the end you thought might have been a little bit too long. Like just let it happen.
It did just, you were just like, okay, let's go. Let's just let it be done. We're this far.
The entire climax took too long. Period.
Yes.
It was like, how much more special effects?
So much talking.
Not enough talking.
So much talking.
No, okay, I would say it's everything. Too much talking, too much action. It was just, here's a Marvel spectacle, special effects.
You want explosions? Well, we got explosions. And cool guys don't look at explosions.
Cool girls don't look at explosions.
Cool people.
Cool people.
Don't look at the
explosions.
I often think that Marvel goes a little bit long in their sequencing, and they did it again, but they still followed the Marvel formula, so I think that people are going to like this movie, even if they're still bitter about Avengers Endgame, like I am.
I'm not bitter about Avengers Endgame.
I am.
Personally.
I am personally offended. Personally offended.
One thing I do like about this one that I guess I noticed a little bit with other Avengers ones, a lot of times when we have like real impactful moments, we get a joke immediately.
Yes.
And I think this was massaged a little bit better. We do get those jokes after we get the serious things, but it doesn't like cut it off. This movie, I think, actually lets you feel enough of the situation instead of actually being afraid of the situation.
I will say I did like, as far as storytelling goes, how they talk about, if you know anything about Black Widow, you know how she became Black Widow and how she went to the school and all and all this other stuff. I mean, we know from Avengers Age of Ultron how traumatic that was for her because of the scene with her and Bruce.
Wanda,
and with Wanda. Like, we know how traumatic that is for her. But really seeing like all these girls getting kidnapped and being thrown into this program really makes you go, oh. And it's not just like, we know that happens, but because they also show it to us and show like the trauma of that, I think that weighs more on like Scarlet, goodness, Natasha and Yelena.
Maybe a little bit. And she was in the program longer than Yolanda was.
Right.
At slightly different times. It's kind of the difference between like a millennial and a zennial. Just right there on that cusp. But that is an interesting take on like what it meant to this character to finish this off.
Yeah,
and,
I think so.
And you were saying about the jokes, about the serious thing. Like, they turned a serious part of Natasha's character with I have red in my ledger into a hard joke.
Into a serious
A
joke.
serious hard joke where
was-
the audience that knows anything is cringing like, oh.
Like,
But, you know, the character doesn't know anything about it. The character who's saying the joke, he's like, this is great. And they're like, no.
we're like, well,
No, it's
is
not
it
great.
great though? Is it?
So yeah, but
No.
it's a good character thing. It's good for people who know about the MCU and everything that's going on, and at the same time, just making the characters do what the characters are good at doing.
Yep. I did like some of the self-awareness jokes. I think that it had too.
Yeah,
like some
I
of the things that fans like say about, oh my goodness, you know, like the superhero pose and stuff. And we get
Yeah.
jokes about that in this movie, and I think those hit pretty well.
I think going off of that, I think that joke was probably in there also because this movie is directed by a woman. And I mean, we get a lot of that. Like Black Widow is like this, you know. How she's filmed in Iron Man 2 compared to how she's filmed now is very different. And I feel like making fun of that pose is making fun of how, like, she was wearing, you know, the tight pleather outfit that showed everything. And I like it. I like the joke. I thought it was refreshing. So I was like, yeah, because that pose is dumb.
Why you always do it like you think that everyone's looking at
I
you?
think everyone's looking at you.
Such a poser.
So, would you guys see this movie again? Since I've seen it twice, I enjoyed it both times. Would you guys watch this movie again?
I wouldn't watch it in theaters again. I mean, I appreciate that someone else paid for my ticket. But I like, it's fine. I wanted it to be more like Captain America Civil War. I wanted it to be more espionage, almost like Captain America Winter Soldier. And it's instead very actiony. So like, I liked it, but I feel that they missed some opportunities.
I would agree with that because Natasha is a spy. And like, that's what we like about her because she is a spy and a good one. But I also am totally fine with seeing all of those women kick ass. So
Yeah, that's
there's
fun.
that too.
That's fun.
Excuse you.
Oh, excuse you.
Yeah, generally, I enjoyed this movie. I think pacing was good for the most part, though. We do get
It-
some moments that
it
do
did
kind
drag.
of linger.
Yes, there were some parts that dragged. It's 2 hours, 15 minutes. Like, it dragged. Like you're,
Well,
yeah, it
you
did
know,
drag.
The thing where you say like Natasha is a spy, and in some of the other movies you get to see her doing some, like, cool spy stuff, not just action stuff. Like in Avengers, you see it twice in Avengers at the very beginning, and then when she's like tricking Loki, there's like someone who's not as skilled a writer as Joss Whedon, even though he has his own like off-camera problems, still a skilled writer.
Yeah.
Tried to do that in this movie, but didn't quite nail it.
It just
It was just close.
so close.
So close, but didn't quite nail it. But yeah, I wanted more of that.
Like I said, though, this one definitely fits like the Marvel mold. It still has the thing. I think probably the biggest disappointment we probably all agree is we wish we would have gotten this movie sooner than when we
For
actually
sure.
got it.
Yeah.
For sure. I don't know if, like you said, we were talking on the way home, if they were waiting to see how well Wonder Woman would do. But obviously, everyone loved Black Widow, so why wouldn't we like to watch her in a movie? I don't know.
Yeah, no, because
Why Disney? Why?
Why are you asking Disney? Why Marvel?
Marvel.
Why?
Marvel.
Well, I'll tell you what. Fun movie, but take us out, Matt.
Alright. Guys, if you like this review, like we said, let us know in the comments below too. Tell us what you think. Is Black Widow a good movie? Not so good movie? If you haven't seen it yet, or you plan to go see it, let us know. Be sure to check out some of our other reviews. We have other new movie reviews, flashback movie reviews. We also take a look at TV shows and have deeper dive discussions.
We also have a Facebook page. Make sure to go check us out there if you have not already. We always post on Facebook the day before what we're going to be posting on YouTube next. But if you're too lazy to go over there and check us out, just put us on your calendar. We post new videos every Monday and Thursday. For now, I'm Randall here in Michigan.
I'm Candace. I'm also here in Michigan.
And I'm Matt. I guess we're all three of us are here in Michigan. Have a good day, everyone.
I'll see everyone next time.
Next time on No Market Media. Please consider checking out some of our other videos.